Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams, and welcome to your reading. I'm so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. All right, let's go ahead and get an oracle card for you to see the overall energy of your reading. Thank you, Spirit. Transformation. You have been through a powerful series of changes, and it's been one after another. Different relationships and situations in your life have built on each other. There's a certain level of interconnectedness that you're becoming aware of, where you're seeing that lessons in different areas of your life are all coming together in order to result in the beautiful being that you are right now in this very moment. It's a series of events. Things that happened in your childhood, you may go back to those memories sometimes, and you're seeing now how you're healing things from your past and how experiences in your past have led you to the place where you are right now. This is a transformation that has taken time, and it's continual. You will never stop growing. Your journey is really beautiful, and it's meaningful. And you're becoming more and more in tune with and aware of your true purpose here on earth. All right, you've got Spirit Guide. You have a very close relationship with beings in the ethers. This is a particular guide that's coming through. For some of you, it's a guardian angel. It's like you're getting to know your guardian angel. You might speak to your guardian angel, and see what they have to say to you. You can do that if you haven't already done it. If you want to, you can do that. You may be speaking with your ancestors. You may be honoring your ancestors. What's coming to me is coffee. You can give your ancestors coffee. You can give them water. Okay, put out a glass of water. You can light a candle for your ancestors. Anything that you do in order to honor them is going to strengthen the relationship that you have with them. And that's then going to strengthen the level of support that they give you here as you are experiencing during certain times spiritual warfare, okay, certain obstacles. You have a very mighty spirit team that backs you up, okay. All right, so you've got two cards here. One is Forgotten Ghosts. We can say Forgotten Spirits, okay. I am getting that these are beings that existed in the 3D. Okay, so this does feel like ancestors. This feels like loved ones who have crossed over. Divine says that you are coming into a state of reunion with some of these loved ones who have crossed over. Okay, this is card number 24. 2 and 4 is 6. These beings that are coming to you are assisting you in a very real way in this physical realm. So there are obstacles that you have faced that they are going to help support you through these trials that you've been through, these trials, tribulations, obstacles, okay? I keep getting spiritual warfare. Also, as I was shuffling my cards, I kept hearing from Toy Story, there's a snake in my boot. I just kept hearing it over and over and over. And so I feel like there is a snake, a scoundrel, who has been trying to send you some obstacles. They've been trying to make something very difficult for you. And so a part of your support, I think it's so beautiful that keeping that in mind with the obstacles, you have a very close relationship with the spirit world, and there are loved ones who are assisting you at this time. They're assisting you because this is coming through mud and moss, stagnation. This is card 25. You're experiencing change. And some of these changes that you've experienced, you may have felt alone as you've gone through some of these changes. You may have felt isolated sometimes, and you may have felt like you were just not able to move. Yeah, it was like a lack of movement. You felt like you didn't have the energy, the energetic force that you needed in order to push yourself forward. The Divine says that it's been a time of stillness. It's been a time of stillness. You know, with the mud, what's coming to me is no mud, no lotus. Lotus flowers thrive in the mud. And so this is a time in your life where you're realizing that some of those quote-unquote negative phases that you've been through have actually been all about you understanding that there is power in those moments where you're unable to move forward with such great force. There is power that comes to you in those moments of stillness, because you're able to open up, you're quiet enough, you're still enough to really pay attention to what Divine is bringing you, okay? Try not to judge yourself in those moments, in those times where you are finding difficulty in moving forward, because when you criticize yourself, or when you tell yourself, oh, I should be doing this, why am I not doing it, I'm so frustrated, you know, it slows you down even more. You feel even more weighed down when you're criticizing yourself through those times of stillness. You are in a beautiful state of transformation. And so part of that stillness and stagnation that you have felt is just a part of your growth. It's a part of your transformation. And so Divine is saying that there is beauty in the stillness as well, okay? So let's get some clarification on, there could be a decision that you're making about family or close relationships, okay? It could be family, friends, people close to you. There might be also some hesitation. I'm seeing that there could be a time where you're just like not exactly knowing which direction to go in regarding certain relationships. But isn't this Ten of Cups so beautiful? The Ten of Cups is one of my favorite cards. And there's so much happiness. Divine is saying that there is potential here. There is potential. And that you have access to this energy. They're saying you are not cut off from your harmony. You can open up to that energy. They're saying open up to receive the blessings. Divine, please clarify this beautiful being's current situation or conflict. Okay, so I can definitely see this energy of like moving forth or moving forward and stopping, moving forward, stopping, going left, going right. It feels like the word that's coming to me is oscillation or oscillating. It's like there's a lot of side to side or front and back, not a lot of steady movement. You may have felt like you've lost your rhythm a bit regarding some of the relationships in your life, or one in particular, okay? I do have here the Emperor and the Page of Cups, okay? This could be a masculine energy. I feel like it is someone that you're dealing with, okay? Someone that you have a relationship with, or someone that you are considering whether or not or how to move forward in this relationship. Okay, you have the Page of Cups. I feel like there is this, like literally the word that's coming through is apology. Perhaps someone has given you an apology or is contemplating, they're thinking about giving you an apology, or maybe you want an apology from this person. Okay, you've got the Two of Wands and the Ten of Swords. So I see here, there's like this thinking about moving forward. There's this weighing what's on the table. You might be asking yourself, what are your options? What's there? Do you want to move forward? If so, where are you going to go? What I do see here is that this could be, this vibe might be quite draining. That could be one reason why you are feeling sort of stuck, because it's like this desire to weigh all your options, figure everything out. There might be some fear of moving forward, and so you're kind of staying in this Two of Wands where there might be fear of moving forward because you might feel like you don't know what awaits you. There could be a lack of trust here. 11:11 on the timer. They're just saying portals are open. Portals are open. So let's keep going and see what they're talking about, okay? With the Two of Wands, right after you have Ten of Swords. So this is definitely, look at this. Look at the similarities. Ten of Swords, laid out, tired, I'm done, right? Stagnation, mud and moss. Laid out, I'm tired, I'm done. It's the same energy. It feels like a weariness. It feels like a physical tiredness that came from a mental exhaustion. You might be mentally exhausted. We've got Eight of Swords here. The Eight of Swords is like, you know, what I'm seeing here is that there might be some limitations that you are feeling or thinking of that if you chose to, you could move beyond it. If you chose to. And so the question is 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer. Okay? The question is, which limitations are coming from another person and which limitations are coming from within you? Perhaps because this isn't your first rodeo. This isn't your first relationship. This isn't your first time asking these questions. Can I trust? Is it safe? Am I safe? Is it okay? And then there's all the other questions like, how does this relationship impact your other decisions in life? Where you live? Your schedule? You know? A love relationship has a huge impact on our everyday life. So I feel like there are some things that you have been feeling very limited by. But what Divine is saying is that all of these swords aren't necessary. There are some concerns that you have that perhaps could be left alone. It's not necessary to bring them along with you on your journey. In other words, there are some cares, some concerns that you have that could be coming from a place of doubt because of what you've experienced in the past, or fear because of what you've experienced in the past. With the Four of Pentacles, there is this sense of holding on. There's a sense of wanting to feel like you have more control over a situation than what it appears that you have. What I'm getting from this is like a power struggle. It feels like maybe someone else is moving in a direction or doing something that you wish they wouldn't, or you feel deep inside like what is important to you might not be as valued by your person, okay? So there might be a misalignment of values and what you both seem to care about the most. It feels like there's a lot that's similar between you, but regarding the things that are really important to you right now in this moment, 15:15 on the timer, it just feels like there is a misalignment or misunderstanding. I feel like some of this, because we just saw 15:15 on the timer, a lot of this has to do with the fact that with your transformation that you're going through, there are a lot of changes on a very self-related level that are now impacting the way that you view your relationships. It's like you've grown so much. You're not the same person you used to be when you were in your teens or early 20s or however old you are now. You have gone through such a huge transformation compared to where you were in the past. It's like I see that there has been a huge change in how you feel about yourself and about how you value another person in your life. You value yourself more now than you used to. And so you are looking for a person, your person, to also grow with you and to have very similar values. Yeah, I'm getting that there might be some differences between you and how you both look at relationships and what you both expect to get out of your relationship. There's like this desire to move forward, and I feel that this is your person. Let me clarify. Oh, wow. So this card was in here from another deck, but it's the Divergence card. There are definitely changes that have happened recently, both within yourself on a personal level and between you and your person. What's the energy of their person? Listen, you got the transformation card, okay? We already saw that. And your person has the death card, death and rebirth. There have been major changes in both of you. Clarify what their person is going through. Okay, so your person has had a lot of heartache. A lot of heartache. I wasn't planning for this to be a love reading, but okay, here we are. There are some things that they've realized that they have to let go of, specifically regarding communication. There are changes that your person is now aware of that have not served them. Like there are things that they used to do regarding how they communicate, how they interact with other people, that it just wasn't working. And so they have had to, what's coming through is they've gained a lot of awareness regarding how their communication has impacted the connection between you. The Page of Pentacles and Three of Swords. They realized that some of the practical choices that they made, and what I mean when I say practical is like very, like to them, some of the choices that they were making weren't a big deal. It was just like, oh, this is what I'm doing, but it caused a lot of heartache between you. This could have been choices that they made regarding money, with it being Page of Pentacles. Also with the page coming through, this is somewhat of an immature energy, so your person could have acted irresponsibly or in a somewhat childish way with finances or with very practical things that they saw as practical, but perhaps you saw it as unnecessary or just moving in the wrong direction. Once again, misalignment. A difference in values and also maturity levels. That's one reason why you've been feeling so stagnated, is because you're weighing a lot of things, comparing a lot of things, trying to assess where the problem is or the disconnect is between you. And constantly doing that Because if your person is making choices that make you upset, then constantly going back to the drawing board in your mind, now why are they doing this? Why did this happen? Now I'm frustrated. And then before you know it, it's like, I'm done. It's a lot of thought energy that you've been investing into analyzing your connection with this person. But what I'm seeing is that some of their choices have come from a lack of maturity. There might be some things that they are overlooking because they're not taking the time to do just a portion of the analyzing that you're doing. You are putting a lot of thought and care into your interactions with this person, and they haven't been doing that. But with the Death card and the Eight of Wands, there has been like this sort of aha moment where they're like at least aware of the impact that they've had on you. 2111 on the timer. Changes are necessary. Yeah. Regarding this connection with the 2, changes are necessary and new beginnings are necessary as well in order for you all to become more aligned. You've got the Page of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so this is one of those new beginnings with the 2111 that was on the timer. So, first of all, there is this, yeah, okay, so we had Knight of Swords and I asked for clarity. I felt like this was your person's energy, and it is, because it's clarified with the Knight of Wands. Your person is very, they have this motivation to move in the right direction. They want to. They want to. And what might not be clear to them yet is that motivation is great, but there has to be intentional thought. Okay, so they have to really give thought to what they're doing before they do it. Because with the Page of Pentacles, there's like this level of immaturity where they're acting without really giving some meaningful thought to what they're going to do and how it's going to impact your relationship. So they have to give more time, energy, and effort to their plans for what they're going to do. They have to be more responsible with their actions. And in order to do that, they have to give more time and energy with their thoughts as to what they're going to do and how they're going to interact with you. And being aware of the choices that they make and how it impacts your relationship. They've also got the Knight of Wands. So what I see here is that they definitely have the passion in order to move forward in a positive way. But what's also needed with that, like passion and motivation are great, but there also has to be some intentional thought regarding how their actions impact you and the connection between you. Because they can already see that there's been a pattern of this that has also resulted in, because with heartache also comes confusion and indecision. When you don't feel secure in your relationship, then you're like, where am I? What am I doing? I don't feel secure in this relationship. And it all goes back to the choices that your person makes and the level of thought that they put into the actions that they take. Okay? Yeah. And I feel like this is something that comes naturally to you. Like thinking about, it comes down to empathy. And it comes down to a sense of responsibility to yourself and to your relationship. And I feel like that's one reason why you are feeling like this, is because you just naturally put the level of thought that's needed into your relationship. But that's something that your person has lacked. Divine, please show me moving forward, what's the energy? So I just split the deck and we've got Page of Cups, and Three of Swords. I'm getting apology. Like, this keeps coming through, like apology. Apologizing for the Three of Swords. You might be at a point now where you're like past an apology. You really don't want an apology. One thing you could do though is if your person comes to you with an apology, you know, I hear you. Thank you. This is what I need. This is what I would love to see. This is what I would love for you to do. It would mean so much to me. You know, I would love for you to take some time to think about how your next action is going to impact our relationship. You know, and maybe give an example without rubbing their nose in the ish they did in the past, but just maybe giving some example that kind of breaks it down for them and puts it in a practical way. If you have the time and patience to do this. If you don't have the time, energy, and patience to do this, then what you do is always up to you. You know, you might be in a place now where you are feeling like you just want to kind of either take a break or move on. Okay? But if you do want to move forward in this relationship, these are the suggestions that are coming through, you know? You got Six of Pentacles here. What's coming through is like, it feels like everything is a gamble with this person. That feels like a lack of security. You got Six of Pentacles. Okay? However, Six of Pentacles is also about reciprocity. So there is a willingness to give and receive. Give and receive. What I'm getting though is that it's about when to give, when to receive, and when to reflect. I feel like for your person, reflecting is really, really important. Because they tend to just kind of move forward. They feel like a hasty person that just kind of acts without thinking. And they have to get that reflecting and that thought, that level of thought in there before they act and move forward. You've got the High Priestess. Divine says you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. For some of you, you will move on. For some of you, you will give another try. You will give your relationship another try. And for some of you, you just need some time to kind of like rest. Because I feel like there is a level of mental exhaustion here. Yeah, okay, so I definitely see some of you moving on. Because you've got, after the High Priestess, where Spirit said you know what you need to do, you've got the Wheel of Fortune, Three of Swords. So it's like some of you are just tired of feeling like you're on a wheel that always ends up in frustration for you. You're tired of feeling like, here we are again with three swords in my heart. You know, and you're just, you want to feel something else because you know that you deserve to feel secure. Ten of Swords and then Six of Swords. So that's definitely where some of you are ready to just move on and be like, look, I done been through this enough times to know what I need. And what Spirit is saying is that for those of you whose time has come to move on, you're going to be out of this state very, very soon. You're no longer going to feel that heaviness because you're allowing yourself to transform. Yeah. Yeah. For some of you, it's just that time. You know, it's time to move forward. Divine, give me some clarity, please, for this beautiful being regarding the energy that they are in at this time. Bring clarity to their current situation. Okay, creative expression of the heart and persuasive. That's what I kept seeing, because Page of Cups came out twice. We had Page of Cups and then Daughter of Baskets, which is Page of Cups in the other deck. There's someone who's trying to persuade you. They want another chance with you. They want another go round. They might be using seduction to kind of convince you. Also, one of the phrases on here is rose-colored glasses. And so you may have been looking at this person through rose-colored glasses, and now it's kind of like you're seeing things for what they really are. You know, I mean, it is nice, it is flattering when someone wants to move forward, right? Because I see this as your person's energy with you all. They want to move forward. But also, this is how they have made their choices as well, in a very hasty, like, don't think, just do kind of way. And I feel like with this Knight energy, like, you really want King energy, Queen energy. And your lover, that's what you want to attract. You don't really want the Knights. You want the Kings and Queens. Or the Emperor and the Empress. You know, but this person is, there could be Leo energy here, either between you and your person, somewhere in your chart. Also Libra. What you're seeking is balance. That's really what you want. Your person is acting out of will. With this Leo being here, they're really kind of like acting out of their ego. Okay? So they could be sometimes moving forward in a state of like where they're ego driven. Driven by their ego. And that's really not you. You may have had times in the past where you acted out of ego, but I mean, we all do. But for the most part, your goal has been to have a really nice balance between your ego, your sense of self, which there's nothing wrong with that, but to balance it with your spirituality. Balance is very important to you. And that's something that you've been achieving. And it really is like, in order for your person to create peace between you and to give you the sense of security that you need, they would have to achieve more balance between their ego and their spiritual self. That's like the be all end all right there. They have to start balancing out their ego and their spirit, their spiritual self. And that is what is going to give you a much greater sense of security, because in doing that, creating that balance, they're not always going to just put themselves first and just move forward. You know, like, let's just go. No, they have to think about what they're doing and how it impacts you. Your person, okay, we've got the Emperor here at the bottom of the deck. So your person, I'm really picking up on a lot of masculine energy, whether they're male, female, non-binary. They feel like it feels like they're moving in a lot of heavy masculine energy, which sometimes feels toxic. And what I'm getting is that you're ready for an elevated connection where there is this attention to the nuances. You know, there's this ability to read between the lines. Not that you're being cryptic, because that's toxic. It can be toxic. But just that you are not always having to spell everything out, because your person is checking in and tuning in to your needs. Now, if their strength is their masculine energy and your strength is your feminine energy, then that would explain some of this, because masculine energy is more focused on providing and protecting. With feminine energy, it's more about nurturing and also protecting. So some of the roles kind of are intertwined or interconnected, but it's more so with the home and the children. And notice, I'm not talking about gender. I'm not talking about male, female. I'm talking about masculine, feminine, okay? So it just depends on how your energies blend with one another. But I am picking up on some toxic masculinity within your person, which means that they need to tune in more with their spiritual self. They can always remain more masculine dominant if that is how they are built, if that's just how they are. But it should be from a place of caring. They should not be selfish and masculine. Okay? All right, Divine, please give me some clarity on this beautiful being's current situation. Ooh. We got a twin flame connection in the house. Okay, so I feel like with this twin flame connection, it's like I'm seeing it could go either way. Because there's a lot of potential here for greatness. But by the same token, it's like if someone keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, like it's totally understandable that you're kind of like ready to move on. Because you get tired. There could be a marriage here. Or for sure a long-term union. Okay? If not, then that's something that's been on the table or a topic of discussion. There has been conflict. Okay, someone feels like their hands are tied. You may feel like this because in your mind you already know what it is that you want, but it hasn't manifested yet in this connection, and your person may feel like their hands are tied because they're just frustrated, and I feel like they have not been willing to listen as much as they should with that smoke coming out their ears. It's like there's so many thoughts of anger in their mind that they're not able to clear their mind and then think very practically about what's good for the relationship. Okay, there's divination and then blocked. I feel like your person may have wanted to get more information about you, but they're blocked from something. Maybe they're blocked from picking up on your energy. They could have gone to a reader and tried to get a reading on you, or it might not be where they've actually gone to a reader. They might watch readings online. But whatever it was that they were seeking to understand more, they feel like they're blocked. They don't feel like whatever it was that they were seeking, like they got it. They didn't get any more clarity about you. I feel like they actually perhaps were watching some tarot readings and then they ended up feeling more confused. You know? Okay, there could be a community involved. There could be people, family, friends, neighbors that have inserted themselves in your world. Divine, please give me some information on that. Let's take a look. With this deck. Ooh, we got witch hunt down there. Now look, if you're spiritual, which of course you are, I feel like there may have been some people inserting themselves in your world. That could have caused more conflict between you. Okay? Because I'm picking up on a very intentional effort to try to undermine your union. Witch hunt and public embarrassment. Somebody tried to shame you. Someone in this community tried to shame you. That could have impacted your union because you think about it, your surroundings have an impact on how you feel, whether it's your neighborhood or at your work, you know. The people around you that are aware of your existence, they can, if they're nosy, if they have bad intentions, then yeah. I feel like there was someone who purposefully, intentionally wanted to bring about some chaos. So that could be one reason why you're feeling this, is because it's not just what's happened between you and your person. It's also surrounding people. This community could be family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, anyone. Now, with this Knight of Swords, it could be that there was some communication that led to this. Perhaps your person opened up some energy, allowing your union to be impacted by communication with other people. You might be a very private person, and your person is not as private. They don't come across as private with the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands. They don't feel private. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay, so this is a troublemaker. There is a troublemaker afoot. Okay, so we've got someone who's self-obsessed and a backstabber. There was someone who wanted to tempt your person with that apple. And they did it all for their own ego. Okay, so ego was coming through for your person. Whoever this was that inserted themselves into your union or was trying to tempt your person, which ultimately we all have control over ourselves. It is our responsibility as individuals and people that we are loyal to, or that we say we are loyal to. We have to maintain integrity. But with this apple here, I'm seeing that this person had some definite low vibe intentions. Okay, they woke up in the morning plotting and planning, and they had a knife in their back. So there's something that they did in order to try to entice your person, and all the while they had very low vibe intentions. Now with that knife there, the person they wanted to hurt was you. They wanted to tempt your person with the apple, and they had a knife ready for you. And that's only because they're jealous. There's envy there. Okay? Yeah, they were setting your person up to fail. It's like they created a trap. Look at that barbed wire there. They created a booby trap for your person. Yeah. Tell me more about this person. This interference. This person wants you haunted by the past. Whatever this was that happened in the past, they want you to continue to be haunted by it. But also this person is haunted by the past that they created, their past choices. Because something tells me, let's see, let's get a little more information on this person. They may have been, okay, this person has a very low, like a very poor body image. They don't like themselves. They have low self-esteem, okay? I feel like when they look at themselves in the mirror, they do not approve of what they see. And they wanted a new boo. Look at that. I feel like this person goes hunting for people all the time. Like it's just something they do. For the fun of it. Perhaps for the obsession of it. Because anybody that's going around looking like this, I mean, come on. Yeah, they're salty. Ooh, this person is very salty. And you know what? They're salty towards you because I just saw like a castle. So that's how this person sees you. They see you as a person who has a beautiful home life. 4444 on the timer. They wanted to test your protection. They wanted to test your protection. And they know you're protected. They wanted to see what they could get away with. Yeah, it's a very salty person. Oh, they wanted to be a booty call. Aw. I'm not going to show those cheeks. They could have done something very low vibe, like putting themselves, their body in your person's face. Are we still doing that? Like what? Have we not evolved? Using your body as a weapon in order to come between a union or to get attention. It's just so low vibe. It's very low vibe. Yeah, so it says beckon, call, sexual invitation. All about the sex. That's what it is with this person. Look, they're self-obsessed and they use their body to try to get attention. So instead of using their mind, instead of using their spirituality, instead of using their connection to the divine, if they have one, they want to use their body. So it really does feel like with this trap here. Okay. It really feels like they were trying to set you up in order to fail. Okay? You and your person. It was a trap. It was definitely a trap. So now this person is on the rebound. Okay? This person is on the rebound. They are, whatever, if they did have a relationship, look, I just put that right on top of the commitment card. So it could be that this person had a commitment, but now they're on the rebound. So what's happened is this person came after you and your union, trying to set you up to fail, and they ended up failing. They ended up failing because whatever type of behavior this was that they persisted with, which was probably a cycle, I'm sure that you're not the only one that they did this to, okay? It's definitely bitten them in the ass. Look, them cheeks they were trying to show off. Yeah, they paid a price. They paid a hefty price. Okay? There was a huge loss that they experienced. This was a situation where someone intentionally set you up to fail, set your person up to fail. It was an intentional effort. And that, you know, that creates a really tough situation. Adulting. You know, it's like that's a part of growing up. And I feel like that's something that is very important with maturity. That might be something that your person, 4848 on the timer, has to understand, is that there are going to be these situations, especially with you being as beautiful, as powerful as you are. You may not have felt that recently with this stagnation card, but you are powerful and beautiful. And when a person has a partner like that, who is so radiant and beautiful, there is a certain level of responsibility that comes along with that, because you may have noticed this not only in this relationship, but in previous relationships. A lot of people get jealous when you are as beautiful and radiant as you are and you're in a relationship, and they will try to attack your relationship just because they want to feel like they have the upper hand, or just because they feel like, oh, I really did something, I busted that one up. You know what I mean? It's like really sick games that people play. But to him who much is given, much is required. And your person has a beautiful partner in you. They have a beautiful gift. And so there is a certain level of responsibility that they have to take with this adulting card. It's like, yeah, they do have to have that checklist. They do have to look at the details. They do have to think harder. They can't be this Page of Pentacles or this Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands, where they just rush into things and don't give any thought. They have to think about things carefully, because they have been so blessed with such a beautiful being, and they owe it to you. to give more thought and energy and effort as far as what steps to take. You know, with that community card coming through, it may not have just been one person. It could be several people that have attacked your relationship. It could be several people. This person may have worked with other people. Who knows? It could be several co-workers. It could be several neighbors. It could be several family members that have done this. Because a lot of people just want to create chaos when they see someone who's happy, glowing, high vibe. But that is, I feel like all of this is what has taken you to a place where now you've been just kind of like this. But you don't have to be like that, because you are divine. You are beautiful. And when you really look at the reason why people have been attacking your relationship, it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see. They made you a target. So you've got here abundance and tunnel vision. It feels like, okay, you have a lot of abundance in your life, but you might not be seeing it right now because you're looking at things from a perspective where you're like, this was so fucked up. You know, they shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done. Okay, that's true. But divine just wants you to consider everything. Everything, because yeah, they did try to set you up. They did. It was a very intentional, let me say all them syllables, intentional effort to try to undermine the connection that you share with your person. And it was an intentional effort to, I mean, they planned this. They planned this. Look, set up to fail. Backstabber. Like, they came in there with a knife and an apple. They were ready to play games. That's what this person wanted to do. And what I'm getting is that, yeah, because it came through that they lost everything. They've lost their home. They've lost their marriage if they were married, or a relationship. If they have kids, that's not going well. Okay? And it happened because that's what they meant for you. That's what they meant for you. That's what they wanted for you. Love. Now, whether you choose to focus on loving yourself, or if you choose to move forward with your person, you have a beautiful frequency of love in your life. And the reason why this person came after you and your relationship is because they see that you naturally align with the frequency of love. It says loves unconditionally. This person observed you being beautiful and happy and sweet, and they couldn't handle it. So they came in there with a knife and an apple, ready to tear some shit up. Like, what? Get a hobby. Yeah. Loves unconditionally, unselfishly, with no limitations. That's what they observed. They observed you. Look, this person came in your life seeing you like that. And then now you're feeling like this. Like, do you see? Do you see? This is how they found you. And this is how you're feeling right now? No. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. This person is a karmic. Oh. Wow. To remind you of your faith. The faith that you have in yourself. The faith that you have in your love. Because nothing has happened to your connection to love. That's what this person wanted, was for you to doubt your connection to love. They can't take that away. They didn't give you love, so they can't take your love away. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, they went digging for some trouble. And they found it right in their own backyard. Okay? They came to your situation digging for trouble, wanting to cause problems. Look, it says spying on the masculine through social media. This person is crazy. They're obsessed. And I bet you they spy on you too. Oh. Reconciliation. I mean, the card is here. I'm not telling you what to do, but the card is here. Now, there may be some traumas, some wounds that this has reawakened for you. That, look, that's a child right there. So there may be some situations from your past that this has triggered for you. And that may be 55 on the timer. Change. That may be a part of your frustration, is that you want your person to consider that when they take their actions. And, you know, in a lot of cases, like if your person were with like an average partner, they really wouldn't have to think about all this stuff, but they're not with an average partner. They're with you. So they do have to step their game up. They do have to be more cautious of these petty beings. I really wanted to say something else, but I'm going to keep it sacred. Ashe. They wanted to, they're going to have to be more cautious, because you attract the attention of a lot of petty, insecure people who just want to start trouble. Look, you've also got soulmate. What's coming through is hot commodity. Like your connection, your energy is a hot commodity. And it's something that a lot of people want. It's something that a lot of people desire. And so they come for people like you. They like to start trouble. They want to see you fail. They want to see you desperate. And you see, what's coming through is that this person, this third party, they felt desperate, and so that's what they wanted to do to you, is make you desperate. But there's nothing desperate about you. Okay? Nothing desperate about you. And even in those moments of stagnation, you know, that's also because of life. It's not just because of what this person did. It's also because there were trauma wounds that were triggered. You know? So we're not going to give this person more credit than they're worth. But you can pick yourself up and move forward. Yeah, collaboration. Okay, so what's coming through here is that it was a collaboration. This energy that people came to you with. Okay, this third party, they were working with some other people. And look, they're just as miserable as this other person. Misery loves company. And they decided to have a misery fest. So that's all the more reason why. Pick yourself up. Okay? Once you have connected with that stillness and allowed your higher self to speak to you, and your higher self says, beautiful being, get up. Enjoy your life. Get back in touch with your joy. Get back in touch with your love. Love flows through you so naturally. Don't let them mofos steal it. This was a collaboration. This was a whole team effort. They need to get a hobby. They need to get a hobby. Like, do they not have children to attend to? Do they not have a job? We don't have a hobby anywhere going on. So all we want to do is spread misery to people because we're so miserable. Is that their mentality? I need you to get in touch with that protest energy where you're like, oh, hell no. We ain't doing that. Hell no. Come back to this space. Come back to that space. Okay? All right. Let's see here. I'm going to close with an Archangel Michael card. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, you got this, love. You got this. I'm about to say, you got this, boo. I can say that too. You got this. Like, there are people who would scratch and claw to be in your position, to be in your body, to be in your skin. Like, that's what I'm getting with this backstabber. Like, oh, they're very strange and they're very unhealed and they wanted to be in your place. So that's why they brought some nonsense. And then they rounded up some people who were also unhappy and miserable. And they wanted to throw and project that shit onto you. Don't let them do that. That's their shit. Throw it right back. And cleanse your energy. You will manifest what you need. This is card 44. Express gratitude as if your plans have already come to pass. Trust that your angels are bringing you the assistance that you need. So whatever it is that you need, beautiful being, Archangel Michael is backing you up. He is supporting you. Card 42. Your prayers are being answered. Your intentions are becoming manifest. Your prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you didn't expect. What I'm getting is that whatever it was that you visualized that you wanted might look a little different, but it's going to be exactly what you need. What you get is going to be exactly what you need. One more. Have no fear. This is card 14. That's the Temperance card in the tarot. Patience, balance, okay? The ability to alchemize. So all this shit that they've thrown your way, you're just alchemizing it. Look, make you a mud mask. Treat yourself. You know, do a little mud mask with that mud they try to throw on you. Okay? Like, people are so nasty sometimes. And they come to you with evil intentions, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Alchemize it. Alchemize it. Because the only reason they did that in the first place is because they're jealous of you. They're envious of you. And they're so, more than anything, it's because they're unhappy with their life. And they have nothing better to do. These are people who would rather take all of their extra time and instead of investing it into themselves, you know, they could go work out. They could garden. They could volunteer and help the world. Save a life. I knew this wonderful woman who she would volunteer. She had a full-time job. She did a lot. But she had a full-time job, but then on the weekends she would volunteer as a paramedic, like with the rescue people. I'm like, what? But some people really just want to do right by people on this earth. And some people really don't give a fuck. They want to create as much torture and chaos. And you know what? The sad part is they get all that back. I mean, you could look at that as sad or good. It's just however you see it, okay? But to me, that's sad, because if you know that the seeds that you plant are only going to yield poisonous fruit, why would you even do that? But that's what they do. They grow poisonous fruit in their garden. It's like they might as well just have a whole garden of poison ivy. Like, why would you do that? These people lack emotional intelligence. They lack fortitude. They lack a connection with the divine. And then they come and bring all that shit to you like you're supposed to do something with it. No mud, no lotus. Make a mud mask. But don't lie here in that mud. Don't allow it to stagnate you. Have no fear, Archangel Michael says. Fear is a trap of the ego. Okay? Remember, false evidence appearing real. A lot of that stuff that's in your mind right now that's like clogging your mental space, false evidence appearing real. And it's a lot of the shit that people have brought you that they want you to be in that state of stagnation. Okay? But this is the real you. This is the real you. Not this. Allow me to use my sword of light to free you from the disquieting feelings holding you back. Ashe. Yes, we love Archangel Michael. All right, beautiful being. I hope that you enjoyed this message. And I hope that it brought you comfort, good vibes, and clarity. And I love you. I wish you peace. I wish you joy. And so many blessings. Take care.